Then let's go to Louisiana. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy. Is it your sense, Senator, that the president needs to declare an emergency to resolve this one way or the other?
Well, obviously, I prefer that Congress step forward, specifically Ms. Pelosi would step forward and offer a compromise. Absent a compromise, I do think there's another way to go about it. One thing I've previously proposed is using the asset forfeiture funds, money taken from drug cartels, drug runners, and others, which is not subject to congressional appropriation, but which the executive branch can use for law enforcement and border security. There's about $4 to $5 billion that comes in every year to these two different funds. The president could use that, build the wall, and that would circumvent an inevitable lawsuit should he declare an emergency.
Where does that money normally go?
It can be used by law enforcement now, and they use it for law enforcement.
I see.
So you would redirect some of the dollars. But last we looked in one of the two funds, there's about $1.2 billion of unobligated dollars. One piece of legislation I put forward would allow that money to be bonded forward. So we know we get $3 to $5 billion a year in it. Allow it to be bonded so that way you could obligate future receipts for current construction, and you could have the funding you need now based upon future receipts.
The president has also raised the possibility that money extracted from the Mexican trade deal, even though it hasn't been ratified yet, could be used to pay for this. Do you know how that would happen?
I think that would take congressional action. I think we have to concede that Ms. Pelosi, for apparently political reasons, has decided not to go with the barrier, even though she and others have supported it in the past. Okay? She's not going to. We can guess why. That said, that's why I'm looking for another way that we can get this done, secure our southern border without being tied up in the Ninth Circuit. Again, the inevitable lawsuit that would occur, or Ms. Pelosi being able to put the kibosh on it because she controls the House.
But when it comes to getting this money from the Mexicans, the president had said earlier in the week that he never meant to say the Mexicans would pay for this, that they wouldn't physically write a check. But a lot of people were surprised to hear that because throughout his campaign, in no fewer than 212 instances, did the president say, as a candidate and later on as president, that the Mexicans would in fact pay for this. What do you think?
Which is why I go back to the asset forfeiture fund. This is money that would otherwise have gone to the cartels. It won't be the Mexican government, won't be the Mexican people, it'll be the Mexican cartels. And that is poetic justice. And the more barriers we put, the greater the security. Theoretically, the more money we will get. And so it's actually a self-affirming process. That's why I'm proposing what I am.
All right. Now, I've heard about that and that you have the support of a number of Republicans in the Senate and the House, but no Democrats yet. So where does this stand?
You know, we can all look at the federal workers who are not getting their paychecks. Some still working. God bless you. The air traffic controllers, the TSA agents who are still working without pay. We would like to get them back on. So if Democrats actually, if a Conor Lamb, for example, actually cares about securing the border, Steny Hoyer actually wants to get those federal employees back to work, but we understand that for political reasons, Pelosi won't do it. This is a way forward. I'm hoping they will step forward and accept this as securing the southern border, getting folks back to work, paychecks issued, etc.
All right. So when the president mentions the possibility that he could, hasn't yet, but he could, declare a national emergency to go ahead and start this wall, and some of your Republican colleagues have already expressed some concern about that. Chuck Grassley, Marco Rubio saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it, because a future Democratic president, I think Senator Rubio had said, could just as easily champion, climate change and force a government shutdown based on that. So what do you think of using an emergency to get what you want?
Let's just speak at a practical matter. If the president sneezes, somebody is going to file suit in the Ninth Circuit Court to say that it's unconstitutional. So if the president declares that he wants to use in a declaration process money for the southern border, it's going to be tied up in court. Whatever we say about future implications, it will not be effective because of the inevitable lawsuit. Again, that's why I think we need another mechanism, and that's why I think we don't need to declare emergency. We can use this asset forfeiture fund.
Okay, we'll watch it very closely. Senator Bill Cassidy, thank you for joining me on a Saturday. Good seeing you again.